Evening, guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hey, Adam G, your online inspirational talk show. Today, I have a very special guest once again. She recently made headlines in her country when she was crowned Miss World America this year. And now, as she prepares for the competition of her life, let's listen to the story of this inspirational woman who has made it a mission in her life to serve her community. She's really one of a kind, guys, I'm telling you. And I'm so privileged to be doing this interview with her. You really have to listen to her life testimonies as it will really move and shake you to the core. So without further ado, here she is. Please welcome her on the show, Miss Shree Saini, Miss World America 2021. Hi, Shree. How are you?
Hello, Adam. I am doing so good. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this interview with you. You are one of a kind as well. You write your own content, you produce it, you edit it. You're like a one-man show, and I'm so proud that you continue to bring girls on this channel and allow them to share about their service work and be an inspiration. So I'm so grateful for all the hard work that you're doing.
You know, I've been dying to have this interview. I'm really happy to
Oh,
do this interview with you. We've
please
been
do.
I've been seeing you. I've discovered you on Instagram since earlier this year. And even
Hmm.
if you weren't appointed yet for the title, wow, I'm
Hmm.
already amazed by the body
Thank
of
you.
work that
Wow,
you
thank
have
you.
done. So how
Thank
are
you.
you? How are you since your crowning moment
Oh,
last month?
I've been working nonstop. Because of the historicness of my crowning, being the first Indian American, it's been very emotional because I've received a lot of messages from people sharing how my life story inspired them, gave them encourage, a sense of hope. Um, I'm grateful, and I only have 2 weeks now till Miss World, so I cannot dive in this interview with you and speak about my love for service.
Oh, so you haven't you realized that you are generating so much impact right now
Mm,
in your country, considering that wow, you're making history as well. You're the
mm-hmm,
first Indian American to win the title since the inception of this pageant. So
yeah,
how do you feel about it?
I, it has. It's 70 years of Miss World, and to be the first Indian American to win Miss World America is truly such a blessing. And it's so emotional. I have received hundreds of messages from people, not just in the US, but from around the world, saying how my life story, inspired them, gave them a sense of hope and encouragement. And they said how grateful they were about for my transparency and vulnerability, because I truly believe like we are only able to connect with each other if we're honest about everything that we went through. And I'm completely transparent because of that reason, that I could connect with other people. And it's not just my win because I am the first Indian American. I think it's a collective win for America. It shows that America does stand for diversity. It does stand for inclusion, and we're one of the most loving nations. And I'm so honored to embody that love.
So do you feel like you're coming in such perfect time at the right place?
I think so. I think our country needed hope. And if I could be that vessel of hope for my country, I think it's one of the greatest honors, and not just for America, but I think it gives a global message that you can come from anywhere and still strive for your craziest dreams and still achieve it if you give it enough effort and you persevere. So I'm honored to represent people who are not always represented.
That's nice. And how do you feel right now? In like 2 weeks' time, you'll be leaving for Puerto Rico. How are
Oh
you
my
preparing so
gosh.
far?
I am overjoyed. I am preparing for all aspects of the competition. I put a lot of thought and love into it. Right now, the most preparation I'm doing is through interviews like this and sharing my love for Miss World, inviting as many people as I can to Puerto Rico. So far, I have about 51 people who have booked their flights and hotel. So we're going to have a big crowd, big team USA coming. And it's been such a long journey. So I'm mostly really excited to share about my beauty with a purpose and my love for service.
Yeah, and it really shows even without all the people watching your BWAP video, even just
Mm-hmm.
by looking at you, you
Mm-hmm.
radiate so much glow, that
Thank
inner
you.
beauty that Miss World
Wow.
is known for, through their Beauty with a Purpose program. So
Mm.
I wonder now, let's talk about it, about your
Mm-hmm.
BWAP project. So
Yes.
I was, I was able to see some snippets of your video, of your BWAP
Mm-hmm.
video that you have
Mm-hmm.
submitted for the pageant, and I have to admit, I really teared up a bit just by watching your
Mm-hmm.
whole life
Oh.
story that you summarized
Mm-hmm.
for like almost 10 minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
it it's only now that I am encountering a woman who had so many tragedies in life,
Mm-hmm.
yet converted those tragedies to empowerment,
Thank you.
right? Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
at age 12, you had a heart surgery
Mm-hmm.
for a permanent pacemaker. Can you tell us more about it? I couldn't imagine you going through that at such a young age, given that you have such a jolly disposition in life right now.
When I was 12, I remember going to the doctors with my mom, and we ended up spending almost the entire day at the hospital because my doctor diagnosed me with having a complete heart block. They put me on a 24-hour long heart monitor, and they said that sometimes my heart would not be beating for 5 seconds or beating as low as 20 beats per minute, when the average heart rate is about 70 beats. And they said I needed an emergency heart surgery for a pacemaker. Pacemaker is like a device that is underneath my collarbone, and it's attached to leads that go to my heart, and it sends electric impulses to my heart in order for my heart to beat at a normal rate. Many people don't know this, but right after they did the surgery, the leads came out. So I had two surgeries in one day, and that led me to have twice as long recovery period. And my cardiologist told me that I could not, live a normal life with my pacemaker. I would have a life of many limitations. I was pulled out of school sports. I was told I couldn't dance again. So it was a very, very scary time, and it was emotionally and physically hard. But I'm so grateful that I have the parents who encouraged me and inspired me and motivated me to not let this disability define me, but to use it to become stronger. And it took many months of recovery, a lot of rehabilitation programs to regain my strength, because right after the surgery, my arm was tied in a cast in order for my leads and my body to recover. And I remember having to work 4 times as harder at dance practice to regain my strength. I would fall all the time, then I would get back up. And I think it truly stemmed with believing that I could, like, stemmed from a place of hope. And that's what I share with my Beauty with a Purpose project. I not only share about heart health, I also share about emotional health, because I could have not have overcome my disability if I had not emotionally strengthened my mind first, that allowed me to physically strengthen my body.
Wow, wow.
hmm And I
So
actually have something right next to me. This is my heart scanner. So I have to scan my heart every few weeks and send those reports to my cardiologist, um, so he can see how my pacemaker is doing. And for the rest of my life, I'll have about 8 more heart surgeries, because my battery will die and then they'll have to charge me back up. So,
wait, question. 8 more surgeries. So is this? Sorry, pardon my innocent question. So are these scheduled until you get older? Do you already have an advanced schedule when those 8 surgeries will come?
hmm
Sorry, I'm so
so
clueless about all these medical.
no, don't apologize. It's very rare to happen at such a young age, and many people don't know about it. So you're totally fine. Yeah, so every 10 some years, I'll have another surgery in order to get a new pacemaker
Battery.
because it's a machine, and any machine needs, will need its battery replaced or have the machine replaced. So my entire machine will get replaced.
So, I'm curious to ask, how did this medical condition impact your life or your childhood? Did you even
Hmm.
still have a normal childhood after your first
Hmm.
operation?
I didn't. I had a lot more hospital visits than any other kid, and ever since I was 12, I have had to go to the hospital every 3 months to get my pacemaker checked. I was physically very weak, so I had to work harder in after school activities and dance just to keep up with my peers. I had a lot more physical therapy appointments, and it was hard emotionally too because I was bullied a lot in middle school. So it was difficult overall, but I kept falling back to my purpose to serve. And that purpose was really instilled in me when I was a little girl. And I know, Adam, before this interview, we also kind of spoke about the childhood picture of me when I was 5 and I was dressed up as Miss World. And that purpose to serve really helped me overcome the challenge. It made me realize, there's a reason I'm going through this. And I am going to use what I went through to help inspire other people. And then I started talking about heart health, learning more about heart disease, and later on becoming the national spokeswoman for American Heart Association and doing all the work that I have done because of the experiences I have experienced in my life, which made me even more passionate to talk about that particular subject.
Oh, so now I get it. That's why you're advocating for heart health
Mm-hmm.
and heart checkups across your
Yes,
country. Okay,
yes.
it comes from personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you're still living through it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. I have an innocent question again.
Yes.
Wait, oh, later. So I'm glad that you're thriving despite your medical condition. It's
Mm-hmm.
still making you unstoppable. It is not deterring you from achieving a
Thank
lot of
you.
great things in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, unfortunately, you had another tragedy
Mm-hmm.
years after.
Mm-hmm.
So you met a
Yeah.
car accident while you
Mm-hmm.
were in college
Yes.
as well.
So yeah, I'm a facial burn survivor, and I was in a car accident that led me to have such severe burns all over my face. I remember my face being so blown up that you could not even like see my ears. And for many months, it would bleed, and I would have to wipe my face off with the cleaning ointments they gave me every few hours. I remember like in my room, I would have fans all over my room because it would be burning so much. So the fans would help my skin, heal and help alleviate a little bit of the pain by having it cool down. And I was told that I should, take a year off from college just so I could
Just to
heal
heal.
just to heal properly. But I didn't want to be defined by the way I looked, but instead defined by how I contribute to this world and what I have to offer. And I knew that I needed to follow their protocols for healing, but I didn't want to hide. I didn't want to hide just because of the way I looked. So I decided to take all my medical ointments, put it in a medical kit, and take that to college. And in order to hide my face from UVA light, like sunlight, because the sun would really burn my face, I would wear like a really big hat. My mom actually got a giant sun hat and then added more fabric around it just so I could be more protective. And then she would like make me masks so I could like protect my face, and I would keep my medical kit. I had emailed my professors talking about the accident and just told them like I don't want to graduate a year later. I don't want to put my life on hold. I have to fully accept what I went through and accept how I am and just focus on what is the next best thing I can do to heal and what is the next best thing I can do to also be a good student while suffering through the burn. So between classes, I would wash my face just so I could heal and also just continue my education. And I'm just grateful to be alive, and I knew that if I fell back on that gratitude, it would bring me a greater sense of hope. So
You know, if those situations, if those tragedies were to happen to me instead, I could have probably spent a whole year crying,
mm,
questioning God why these tragedies befell me. But you, looking at you, you turned those tragedies to something that will even fuel you to reach greater heights. I mean, Shri,
thank
wow.
you.
I'm just really amazed. I'm just really inspired or in awe of your life, of the things that you went through in life. So I wonder where, apart from your mom telling you to become more solution oriented, where is this activism coming from? Because it's very rare, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I really, for those people
Mm-hmm.
who are watching this, I really want them to really feel inspired about what you went through. So,
Thank you.
where is this drive, activism, being solution oriented coming from?
Mm-hmm. You know, my activism and my desire to be of aid and service really began when I was young, and I witnessed a lot of poverty. And I think as kids, we constantly question, why are there beggars? Why are there homelessness? And then after a while, all of that becomes like a norm and a part of life. And for me, I never felt okay that someone is living on the street side, someone is not getting even one clean meal. And then there's also extreme wealth and extreme poverty. So I felt the need to be of service since I was a little girl. And it when I watched the Miss World contestants and I saw that these contestants were not ignoring the pain in their community, but actively coming to aid, that also inspired me because it showed me an example of how can one girl, one young woman can make such a big difference. And that led me, starting in middle school to work with UNICEF. I remember just being a little girl and taking UNICEF boxes and making boxes and giving them to teachers and counselors and asking them to tell the students about UNICEF and raise funds. And then in high school, I was in a service project. In college, I took a lot of um, initiatives to work with nonprofits, and Miss World was something that has always been part of my mind and journey and inspired me to be of service in every way I can. So first it was witnessing poverty, and then second it was seeing that I could do something about it.
If Julia Morley hears your story, she'll really be pleased. I think,
Thank you.
in the 70 years of existence of her pageant system, she really keeps harping on her charitable causes, which is the
Mm-hmm.
heart of her Beauty with a Purpose program. So I'm just I'm just amazed at how you have led your life such that we are all inspired by your likeness. So I'm curious to
Thank
ask, now that you are inspiring a lot of people, how are the ways in which younger generations,
you. Mm-hmm.
such as the millennials or even the Gen
Mm-hmm.
Zs, can make decisions about how and where to make philanthropic contributions changing?
Mm-hmm. I would say to any generation that wants to be of service is to research in their community, look at local nonprofits, and go deep, dig deep in your soul and ask yourself, where can I make the most positive impact? And then contact nonprofits, email them, ask them what do they need? Do they need awareness? Do they need more volunteers? Do they need more funds? And find ways that you could provide for that NGO and that community that you want to help. But I also would like to share that I think service and having a generosity of spirit is a moment to moment decision. You don't have to always be tied to a nonprofit to be of love. I think the greatest service that we can be is being a kinder person and being a more loving friend, being a more loving son, more loving daughter, and having that generosity of spirit. I think that's one of the greatest acts of service is the words that you speak and the meaningful conversations you have.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Even if you do not have a charity organization affiliated with, just by
Mm-hmm.
simply volunteering your time, your family, friends, and loved ones can really make such difference,
Mm-hmm.
right, in someone's life. So I would like to ask, why do you think, volunteering at this time, whether it could be to an endeavor or with someone that you love, is so important?
I think it's the essence of life. I think you truly live life when you love. And I see volunteering and raising funds as a form of love. And I want to encourage people that to start because once you start volunteering and being kinder and being of greater love to your community, it fills your heart with purpose and joy, and you don't want to ever stop. And I also see it as a moral obligation because a huge part of our world lives below poverty lines. And I don't think that is fair. And I think every person deserves a home to live in, uh, food. And if we could be that someone to provide that healthy meal or that shelter or provide love in different ways, um, I think it's our civic duty to do so.
Yes, and I love that you have volunteered so much of your time in on even 100 non-profits in the past how many years? Wow. I mean,
Thank you.
do you even have a life already? My God, you've been doing a lot of charitable causes, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
really amazed. It
Thank
even
you.
took you to a lot of cities, 30 states and 8 countries, and you
Mm-hmm.
have been recognized by your government. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that says a lot about your commitment
Thank
to
you.
all your
Thank you.
causes. Yes, and one of which I'm really also inspired by the way how you make education
Mm-hmm.
priority, a
Mm-hmm.
priority
Mm-hmm.
in all your platforms for Miss World America. So, can you tell us what is it about this cause? About giving free access, quality education to all
Mm-hmm.
these young kids that inspire you to get involved.
I believe education it's like giving a gift of confidence to someone and it's making someone more self-reliant and more independent. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts you can provide is making them feel more self-assured of themselves. And that's what happens when you are able to give educational opportunities. And that's in my Beauty with a Purpose project of heart health. I am working on implementing an emotional health curriculum with an emphasis on heart health in all of the 37,000 schools and in America. And I believe that curriculum could prevent a lot of anxiety and depression that students often feel because it'll teach students emotional skills on how to take care of their emotions in a positive way, how to take care of their heart, and they'll give them tangible tools for the rest of their life to become more confident adults. Um, so I deeply care about this topic because it could save the lives of thousands of people.
And hopefully, there will be more children who will look up to you and be inspired by what you have been doing for their community. So, there's no doubt that, wow, you really are living your best life right now. I mean, it's one life full of challenges, yet
Hmm.
so many accomplishments. I mean, looking
Thank
back in your
you.
26 years of existence in life, would you have it any other way? Or or do you have regrets not doing so far in your life?
I think every human being has regrets because as we grow older, we gain more wisdom and knowledge, and we kind of sometimes look back and, you know, hope that we were given that wisdom earlier so we could have made some better decisions. But I know that I've done the best that I could with the knowledge and wisdom I had at that moment. So I don't have any major regrets. I have, in university, I wanted to utilize my time while being an undergrad student at University of Washington. So I went on to study at Harvard, Yale, and Stanford as a visiting student. And in my passion for service, I didn't just want to work with one NGO. I wanted to think about all the ways that I could be of service. And every single week, I would email nonprofits. I would call donors and energize them to raise more funds and donate more funds to important charitable causes. And only by being consistent have I been able to serve with 100 nonprofits. So I have tried my best to give my all with the life that I have lived. And I am just excited to go to Miss World now and share my passion for service. And hopefully, with the organization, double and triple the work that I've done. The legacy of Miss World has always inspired me, and it has so far reaching, and it's so powerful to see what the Miss World title holders have the capacity to do.
You know, I really love that you brought it up, the Miss World pageant system, how you have been such in awe of the pageant brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, when you look outside the pageant system, there are so many critics and feminists that say
Mm-hmm.
that, who are questioning the relevance of pageants like Miss World. So,
Mm-hmm.
how could you convince them otherwise?
I think pageant critiques, um, or I'll just say, I think those who are not aware of pageants are the ones who are most critical. And I would only have to share the wonderful work that Miss World has done. There's been girls who have built bridges, who have brought electricity to their town, who have provided educational materials, free healthcare. So just by making them more aware of what pageantry is about, what beauty with a purpose is about, an organization that Mrs. Julia Morley started years ago and has fundraised $1.3 billion by just sharing that impact. I'm sure that they'll begin to understand more than just the snippets of stage aspects they see. They'll understand the work that the girls do for the rest of 365 days.
The reason why I ask this question is, you know, let's face it, a lot of people who are usually watching this contest would always think of Miss World as a one day special, one night affair for the whole
Right.
year. So, so that's why. Do you think that's the reason why they only get to see the glitz and glam
Mhm. Mhm.
of the pageant and not
Mhm.
the dirty work that the organization does behind the scenes all year round? How do you think you can reconcile that kind of disconnect between what Miss World organization really does and the perception of the people watching it?
I would just share the incredible work that Miss World has done. I would go beyond just a glimpse of that night that they might be watching the show. And I would share about the rest of 300 some days that Miss World serves year round with nonprofits. Whenever Miss World goes to a country, she goes to some of the most remote places. She volunteers her time. She is making speeches on charitable causes and issues, and she's helping to energize people in that country to raise more funds. And that's the work that she's doing. No, she's not going to countries just for the glitz and glam. She's going there with the purpose to make a big difference. And just by sharing the facts that, Mrs. Morley started Beauty with a Purpose, and she was, through the contestants, able to raise $1.3 billion for thousands of charities because of Mrs. Morley's leadership. Lives have been saved, people have been provided educational opportunities, there's been free health surgeries and free health care. And if I were to just share that, I don't think anyone can argue with that. And I don't think anyone would ever argue with a program that is uplifting the lives of women and communities around the world.
True, true. And for sure, once they see you in Puerto Rico very, very soon, they'll really feel so light and good with you.
Thank
So,
you so
what are you
much.
looking forward most in the upcoming competition in
Ooh,
Puerto Rico?
I'm looking forward to every aspect of competition because I know every aspect takes a lot of behind the scenes work. Um, but one thing I'm really looking forward to is developing meaningful relationships with the contestants because I think life is all about relationships and everything else is minute details. So getting to know the girls, their incredible Beauty with a Purpose projects, finding ways that we could, unite the next year during our year of service to make a bigger impact. And just finding how we could create a bridge of love between the different countries that are being represented. I think that that's something that really excites me, and I cannot wait to meet them in Puerto Rico.
Yes, for sure. You have been preparing. For sure, you will really do well because you've been preparing well so much for this all your life. You
Thank
know,
you. I wish you were there. I wish you
I
were
wish I could.
coming.
I wish if it weren't for COVID restrictions, probably I would have
Hmm.
reconsidered. Yeah.
Yes.
So for sure, I see you doing well in your fast track events. For sure, you will render your amazing dance talent in the talent category, and you might even figure in the Dances of the World segment
Thank
during the
you.
finals, doing all your dance moves. I can already see it, and for sure you'll be shortlisted for your BWAP project because it's really
Mm,
impactful, right? And then
thank
what
you.
else? Do you could also
Hopefully earn the job of Miss World.
yes, true, true. So, you know, looking at you right now, having researched more about you, knowing your background, wow, you are really one incredible and remarkable woman that Miss World Organization is really lucky to have. I mean, for
Thank you.
sure, like right now, if I have to be blunt with you, I could really see you running for public office like X years from now. So I wonder,
Thank you.
how do you see yourself like 5 to 10 years from now? What is Shree Saini gonna be doing in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I would still be serving Beauty with a Purpose projects for the rest of my life, still be incredibly in love with the Miss World organization and joined with them in my capacity. And yes, I have thought of running for public office. I want to get my doctorate degree and hopefully become U.S. Secretary of Education. But life gives you many obstacles, and God has a bigger plan. But I know one thing for sure, that wherever I may end up being, I would want to be of a positive change and difference in that setting. And I am so honored to be part of the Miss World organization.
Your answer reminds me so much of Spider-Man's famous quote: "With greater power comes greater responsibility." In your
Mhm.
case, with greater platform, with a huge, huge platform of Miss World America, you really have such a big responsibility, right?
Thank you. Yes, it's a responsibility I love, and I always say this is, I might be the one wearing the crown, but I want to crown as many people as I can this year with a greater sense of self esteem, help increase altruism, and help create the maximum impact I can in all my capacities. So thank you for all your support, Adam. I hope I can take the crown to places it hasn't been before. And um, I'm so grateful for everyone who has poured so much love into my heart and my service work. And this is just the beginning. I want to be able to one day serve with 1,000 nonprofits, and we should never limit the love that we give.
True, and no doubt you will really reach out and inspire more people, not just in America, but across the world. So,
Thank you.
as my last question, there's no doubt that I've been enlightened by your wisdom, lightness, humility, and your passion for service towards your community. Uh, what do you think, as my last question, what do you think is one most important quality that a Miss World title holder should have?
Hmm. I think it's the quality to take initiative, like someone who leads the pack and thinks about ways that she could be of service and doesn't just wait for people to come to her, but reaches out to people, is the first one to start a conversation or to start a service project. And I've seen that quality in a lot of the Miss Worlds that we have had, of the impact they have created by first going out in their community and not just waiting for people to come to you. And
No doubt, Miss Shree, you'll be killing it in the upcoming Miss World. I can really feel it. I mean, I for sure you've been planning all your life for this one big event happening in Puerto Rico next month, and I can't wait for you to slay all the fast track events and eventually place high or
thank
even
you.
win this much coveted title. So thank you so much, Shree, for
Thank
making this
you.
interview. To the entire Miss World America organization, thank you for allowing me to do this interview. It has been such a blessing to get to know this woman, not just of style, but of substance as well. And I hope
Wow.
you will keep crowning, and I hope the organization, Miss World America, will keep crowning girls like you who seem to be like
Wow.
the game changer, who seems to be doing exceeding
Mhm.
all our expectations because I'm
Wow.
amazed by the body of work
Thank
that you
you.
have been doing. I mean, everything that you do right now is not lip service. Everything that you have been doing comes out innately, natural, organic from you. You really walk the talk, Shri. It's
Thank
very rare
you.
to come
Mhm.
across a woman like you in pageantry. I'm telling you, as early as now, as a pageant correspondent, as a pageant analyst who has been
Mhm.
in the industry for the
Mhm.
past 5 years, someone
Mhm.
like you who really breathe inspiration and service comes once in a blue moon. You're a
Wow.
rare gem, Miss Shri. I hope you know that.
Wow. Thank you. You're so loving and so kind. You're making me so emotional. Thank you for seeing the true love that I have to make an impact. And I'm so grateful for you, Adam, for reaching out to me. And I'm excited to have a long, lifelong friendship with you. So truly so grateful for your generosity of time.
Likewise, I really feel, I hope and pray that the organization will really like you once you set foot in Puerto Rico because I've met them, and from my personal
Mm-hmm.
experience they really like championing girls who really
Mm-hmm.
deflect the attention from them in favor of their causes and
Mm-hmm.
charity advocacies. In There's a certain term for that, these girls would like to this organization would like to champion girls who really take a light and pass on the light to the
Mm-hmm.
others so that
Mm-hmm.
so that all of us spectators will be able to feel her warmth and
Hmm.
generosity within her community. And I think you really chose the pageant system, and they couldn't wait to have you very, very soon.
Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you.
No words. Thank you so much. I really had such a blast getting to know you. No words. You really come very rare in pageantry. Your
Yeah.
I hope your tribe will increase 1,000-fold after a lot of people will be able to watch this interview. So, Moa, good luck on your upcoming journey. I can't wait to
Thank
follow you
you.
on your
Thank you for
journey
all
in
your love.
Puerto Rico. Thank you so much. You really have no idea how much impact and inspiration you have been generating to all of us. And it is my hope and
Wow.
prayer that whatever I am seeing in you as early as now will be the same thing once you set foot in Puerto Rico. God bless you, Shree. Stay safe and hydrated.
God bless you too, Adam. Thank you for all your love. I'm so honored and grateful. I can't wait.
Yes, kill it. Virtual hugs and kisses all the way here from my office here in Manila. Mwah.
Oh, love from USA.
Mwah. Take care and good night.
Good night.